Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. I'm Mark, and as always, I've stumbled upon something in the tech world that has me buzzing.
And I'm Jenny, here to make sure Mark doesn't float away into the tech stratosphere. What's got you so excited today?
Okay, so picture this. MKBHD, right? Marques Brownlee teams up with Nothing, the company Carl Pei started. And they set out to design his dream phone, not to actually make and sell, but just, what would it be? What a cool idea.
Oh yeah, I saw something about that. It's like if a tech YouTuber could just create their perfect device, no limitations, what did they come up with?
So they really went in. We're talking a 6,000 milliamp hours battery, which, for context, most phones are around 4,000, 5,000 these days. This thing would last for days.
That's a beefy battery. I could finally stop carrying around a charger everywhere.
Right? And the display is, get this, a 6.1-inch, 120 Hz 1440 PLTPO AMOLED. Now that's a mouthful.
Okay, break that down for us non-tech obsessed folks.
Basically, it's a super sharp, super smooth screen that's also really energy efficient. And 6.1 inches is kinda small these days, compared to the 6.8-inch and larger trend. A move back to smaller phones.
Interesting. So they're prioritizing battery and display quality over size.
But here's the thing about this whole dream phone concept. They also broke down the cost. Like, they went through the entire bill of materials.
Hold up, the bill of what now? Is that like an itemized receipt for building a phone?
Exactly. It lists every single component, every screw, every sensor, and how much it costs. So, that monster 6,000 milliamp hours battery? About $35 just for the battery.
Wow. And I'm guessing that beautiful display isn't cheap either.
Not at all. And the BOM, it doesn't even include stuff like research and development, marketing. You get why phones cost what they do though, when you see it all itemized like that.
It's eye-opening, for sure. I mean, we all love these amazing devices, but we don't really think about what goes into making them.
What's interesting is that MKBHD went with some premium specifications. I mean, that battery alone is way above average. You can see he really values that long battery life.
So what does all this mean if someone, actually wanted to make and sell this phone?
That's where Carl Pei comes in. They had a whole segment in the video where he gives feedback on the design.
Oh, right. The CEO of Nothing. I bet he had some interesting insights.
He did. He talked about the challenges of balancing those high-end specs with things like cost and, actual manufacturing. You can't just slap a huge battery in a phone and call it a day. There are thermal considerations, for one thing.
So it's not as simple as just picking the best parts and putting them together.
Not at all. It made me think about the choices manufacturers have to make. Trade-offs between features, cost, design. It's a complex dance.
Speaking of trade-offs, how does this dream phone compare to what's actually out there? Like the flagship phones we can buy right now?
Well, in terms of battery, it's way ahead. But the display, while great, is pretty much on par with other high-end phones in 2025. Though, as we touched on earlier, it is smaller than most premium phones now. It is kind of a statement to make it smaller.
It's like they're saying, we can give you top-tier specs without making the phone huge.
Exactly. But this whole thing, it does make you think about the environmental impact of all this, right?
Oh, definitely. I mean, a custom phone for every person? That's a lot of potential e-waste if it's not done sustainably.
Right. And it's kind of a luxury, isn't it? This dream phone concept. It highlights the fact that not everyone has access to or can afford even basic tech.
Totally. It's a reminder that there's a whole spectrum of needs and priorities out there. But you know what this does make me wonder about?
What's that?
Could this spark a trend? Like, could we see more customizable phones in the future? Maybe not to this extent, but...
It's possible. I could see it happening. Maybe modular phones where you can swap out certain components. That way, you could upgrade your battery without getting a whole new phone.
Or maybe advancements in battery tech will just make these huge batteries standard. Imagine a phone that lasts a week on a single charge.
That would be amazing. I mean, battery life is always a top concern for people. I think we'll see a lot of innovation in that area. There are always new solid-state battery rumors floating around.
Well, this whole dream phone project, it's a fascinating thought experiment. It really makes you think about what goes into these devices we use every day.
For sure. It's a cool peek behind the curtain. And it shows you how much thought and effort and money goes into creating a custom, high-end device. No wonder they don't do it every day, huh?
No doubt. Alright Mark, thanks for nerding out with me on this one. I actually learned a lot.
Anytime, Jenny. And to our listeners, let us know what you think. Would you want a custom dream phone? What features would be on your must-have list? Hit us up on social media. We always love hearing from you.
And we'll be back next week with more tech insights. Until then, stay curious everyone.